Good afternoon. I'm Daisy Peak Walker, and I have the most fondest memories of the old school. I'll tell you a short story. And when I was maybe 3.5, 4 years old, I always wanted to become an educator. I was reading, I was writing, and I always wanted to go to school. I have 12 siblings. I was the fourth of 12. I have 3 older sisters, and they all went to the old school. One morning, I woke up and my 3 sisters were running out the house with their lunches and their books, and they were getting ready to catch the bus. I'm looking around for my lunch bag. It wasn't made, so I'm asking my mom, can you please make me a lunch because I want to go to school with my older sisters? And my mom goes, yes, I will, hint, hint, make you a bag so you can go to school, ha ha. So she made me a bag, and I took the bag, and I took my dad's newspapers, and I went outside, and I says, bye, Mommy, I'm going to catch the bus. She goes, okay, bye, Daisy, have a good day, thinking it was a game. It was not a game. I waited until the school bus picked up my 3 older sisters, and they went to school. And then I hurried up to the corner because I knew there was another school bus that was coming. The school bus came, stopped, opened up the door, and he let me on. And then I said, where do I sit? You see all of these chairs, wherever you want to sit, you could sit. So I sat next to the bus driver on his side so I could watch all the other kids get on the bus, because I was such a big girl, and I was 3.5, maybe 4, and I'm thinking, I'm going to school, what a wonderful day. He dropped me off at the school. I got off the bus with the other kids. I followed the other kids. I did what they do. But then they all disappeared in each direction. I didn't know where to go because I didn't know what my room number was. I just didn't know what to do. So I ran up and down the halls looking for a familiar face, peeking into the windows. I saw this person that looked like my sister. I opened up the door, ran into her classroom, sat next to her, put my lunch under the desk, and I folded my hands. Everybody got quiet in the classroom. Then all of a sudden they burst out laughing. I'm thinking, they love me. I'm the greatest thing. They absolutely love me. I'm a newcomer. And then the teacher goes, Mary, that was my oldest sister's name. She goes, is that your baby sister? She goes, yes. She says, you know, she's too young to go to school. She goes, I know. So my sister had to grab my hand, my bag, and my newspaper, take me down to the office, and one of the students or whoever, the teachers, drove me back home. My mom was frantic. Where did you go? I went to school, Mommy. I don't believe you went to school. Did you go over the neighbor's house? Were you over there? She couldn't believe that I went to school. But I went to school. That's okay. I'll just wait another week or 2, and then she'll know that I went to school. Fast forward 2 weeks, she packed me another lunch, didn't have any notebooks, took my dad's newspaper again, went up to the bus stop after my sisters had caught the bus, got on the bus again. Now, mind you, I was the shortest person at the bus stop with all these big kids, and he's telling me, didn't I pick you up before? And I didn't want to lie to him. I go, yes, thinking he would say, you're the one that had to go home. And I says, can I still sit behind you? Come on in. Came in, got on the bus. He drove us to the school. We got off. Then the kids went their way to their classroom. Well, I knew I couldn't go to my oldest sister's classroom again because her teacher knew that I was too young to go to school. So I went to my 3rd sister's room, and I looked in the window. I saw her. I opened up the door. I ran in, and I sat next to her. The class kind of looked at me like, I know her because she's my younger sister's age, so what are you doing in here? And then my sister next to me, you know how siblings are. I am so embarrassed. What are you doing here? I go, wait a minute. I'm in school. I want to learn like you. She goes, no, you can't. You have to go home. You got to go home. I'm thinking, really, you're going to do this to me now? I'm your favorite. We play together. So now you're going to kick me out of this classroom? Teacher found out about it. Back down to the principal's office or an office. I don't remember what. Got driven home again. So my mom met me at the door. Who was that person that drove you home? She goes, I said, it was one of the teachers. Well, what happened? Did you go to school today, or did you go over someone's house and they thought you were lost and they brought you here? I go, yes, I went to school and I did get lost in the school. And my mom says, well, I'm going to keep you in better, I'm going to discipline you a little bit more. You cannot get out of the house. So I waited a month. What I thought in my mind was a month, because when you're 3.5, 4 years old, a day could be a month. But I know I waited at least maybe another 2 weeks. And I said, I think I'm going to go to school today because I'm going to learn something today in school. She goes, yeah, right. You stay away from such and such house. I go, trust me, I will. I'm thinking, I'm not going to the neighbors. I'm going to school. So I packed my own lunch. Don't know what it was. Could have been a jelly sandwich. Put it in my own paper bag. Got my dad's newspaper. Bye, Mom, I'm going to school. Well, you just make sure you sit down on the front steps and don't go anywhere. I'm going. See you later. Went to the bus stop. Bus driver stopped again, picked me up, and we could be talking maybe 2-3 weeks later. Got on the bus, did my same ritual, sat in back of the bus driver, pulled up to the old school. You have to go up the hill. Opened up the door, everybody got off the bus, we ran into the school building, and I'm running all by myself. I'm thinking, now, I was here twice, and I know when I went to see my older sister, I made a left, and so now let me go make a right. But then I didn't know what was left and right, and I saw that all the kids going the same way I went the first time to see my oldest sister, so I went that way again, and I saw my older sister again. Ran in her room, sat next to her, put my lunch down, put my newspaper on the desk. Class started. They were in hysterics. They're going, you're doing this today, ma'am? You're doing this? You're coming back to school again the third time? Have you not learned? And the teacher asked me, she goes, what's your name? And I told her. And she says, well, why are you coming to school? I said, because my dad told me that I was a big girl. And he says that one of these days I'm going to go to school and I'll be able to read and write like my older sisters. And I said, and today's the day. I'm going to learn how to read. I know how to write my name. I know my numbers, but I want to learn how to read. So today is so special for me. The teacher wrote on the board. She kept me in the class for about maybe 15-20 minutes. And then she says, your name is Daisy? And I go, yes. She goes, would you like to use this eraser and erase the board? And I said, yes. So she gave me the eraser. I went to the board. I started erasing. Of course, I couldn't reach the top part, but I reached the bottom part. And she goes, do you want your sister to take you outside? Because back in those days, they had these heavy black erasers, and it collected a lot of chalk on the outside, and we would go outside and you would brush it against the brick to get all of the chalk off, and need to bring it back into the room. So I had a chance to do that, to erase these words that I learned on the board. And then I found out after I did all of that, it was time for me to go home. Instead of the teacher crying, I started crying. Then they started crying because they didn't want me to go. After 3 times, it was like, you're a student now. We want you here. So I finally went back home. The guy who took me home, a teacher, he knocked on the door. He was probably the same guy. And he told my mom where I'd been, how many times I've been there and how long I've been there and the teachers that I met and how they absolutely loved me. And my mom says, that's it. No more school until you're ready to go to school. Fast forward when I turned 5 years old and I was ready to go to school. I knew how I felt a year ago when I went to school. Those same feelings of excitement and anxiety and exuberancy and the yearning to learn and to be a part of this learning and educational environment, it just inspired me at the age of 3.5. I went to the old school up until 6th grade. Then the old school, in 7th grade, we went to R.B. Chamberlain High School, graduated from R.B. Chamberlain High School. Fast forward, went to community college, went to Kent State, went to Akron U. I graduated at a college out of Indiana with a PhD because of the fact that I knew at 3.5 what my gifting was, what my future was, what I wanted to be, what I want to instill in people, especially the younger ones who have a desire and a yearning to live. We're going to fast forward now about 20 years after that, after I graduated. No, 10 years after I graduated. And they started this educational institution, and it was called Head Start. And it was for children 3, 4, 4.5. And I would like to say, because of my previous experience in going to school at the age of 3.5, 4, 4.5, that's how they came about with this Head Start. My girlfriend, as a matter of fact, she was over the Head Start. I don't know, maybe rumors came around and said, this girl started at the old school when she was 3.5 years old. And I hope that my story will inspire not only children but parents, that when their children have a yearning, when they have a passion, when they have a gift to learn, do everything you can possible, because you never know where that child would end up doing. My daughter is, like I said, she's an educator. She has her PhD in education. My son, he has degrees in other areas, but I do believe in education regardless of any age. I started at 3.5. I think as soon as a baby can identify with his mom, and that's at 3 months old, a baby knows its mother's voice. A baby knows its mother's eyes. A baby knows the movement of their mommy and their dad. The baby knows that at 3 months. I think children 3 months are trainable, and they have a desire to know more. So, did I go to school? It was later in life. I was 3.5. I probably had that same desire at 3 months, 6 months. So I'm saying is that you're never too young to learn.